Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you very much for everyone attending today. I'm super excited to continue the working relationship with Cardiff. It's something that Pagoda and myself have been working on for 5-6 years now. So know the team really well and hosted lots and lots of your students sort of in person. And what I wanted to talk to you today about is a couple of remote options that we're offering over the summer months. So just to clarify, I'll give you a brief intro to Pagoda, the program summaries, what's included, the application process, fees and funding, or the lack of fees, I should say, and then yeah, Q&A sort of towards the end. If you do have any questions throughout, Health will give me a shout and try and get that answered for you straight away. But if not, then certainly at the end, be more than happy to answer any of your questions as well. So real quick insight to Pagoda. So we've been going for about 14-15 years. Normal times pre-COVID, we would send students overseas to Mexico, China and Vietnam. And then since the sort of shift sort of last March now, we've moved our programs online to sort of offer a global work experience program as well. So the remote internship program, just to let you know, for this summer, so it's summer internships from across the world essentially. So rather than focusing on our host destinations of where we would typically send students in person, we still have lots and lots of those positions available in Mexico, Vietnam, and China. But we've also got some of the additional ones which I'll mention in a second. The format of the program is part-time or full-time internships, standard sort of working hours here in the UK. If you're based in the UK over the summer, if you're going anywhere else back home maybe for the summer, we're sort of really flexible to sort of build the program around yourself and sort of relevant to where you're going to be based at that time. There is 2 options as well. So you can actually do an 8-week internship in all of the destinations, or you can do a 12-week internship sort of in all of them other than the US, as that's slightly later in the summer, which is, yeah. So the first start date that we're offering is the 5th of July, which is all of our destinations other than the US. And then if you do decide to do an internship with one of our US host companies, then it will be slightly later, 2 weeks later, 8 weeks, and starting on the 19th of July. But we've got over 200 opportunities, remote opportunities in lots of different sectors, as you can see there. There's no sort of requirement in terms of what you study to be eligible. The eligibility criteria that you saw right at the start of the session from Health, that's essentially what we're looking for as well. So as long as you're eligible from the university side of things, then we're happy to sort of take your application, try and secure you an internship in the sector of your choice. Some of the sectors require some relevant sort of study background or maybe experience, depending on sort of the sector. So for example, law, it's pretty difficult to try and source and finalize a law internship if you're not studying law or have already had experience in law. Engineering too, but certainly the things, you know, business related, NGOs, those sort of ones, really flexible, really open to sort of any sort of study background, academic background at all, really. So yeah, if you're studying sort of health and things like that as well, which typically don't have remote placements or lab work or anything like that, feel free to get in touch, because we're pretty open, and we'll try and source an internship for you in sort of any sort of sector that you are looking for. The destinations, just to clarify, so you'll see there we've got sort of our host destinations of China, Vietnam and Mexico, but then we've also got some really cool ones in North America, in the US, Spain, Germany, Australasia, Japan, Korea, India, UAE as well. So lots and lots of diverse ranges. So depending on your background in terms of where you're from or your language capabilities, if you're on a language course, really interested to hear from you, because we've got some really cool options in terms of tying in your language ability or your course, if it's language focused, to a work experience opportunity as well. But the great thing with our program is you do choose the internships that you apply for. So whatever you can see on our website, which is all listed, you can sort of pick and choose and let us know which ones you want to apply for. Yeah, just to clarify a little bit more on that. So all of our positions are listed on the website. So I'll give you the link towards the end of the session as well. But the sort of internships themselves, they're split by sector, by company size, and by sort of role. So you can filter to find the sort of ideal position for you. Let us know the unique reference code for each position that you want to apply for, and then we'll contact the companies on your behalf, try and get you an interview with them, and let you have like a one-to-one sort of Zoom interview with them to try and secure that role. We'll never say to you, you know, you have to apply for this one or this is your only option, and things like that. We like to have, we like to give our applicants sort of multiple options, and sort of collaboratively sort of finalize something for you well before the sort of start date of the program and things as well. So yeah, feel free to sort of browse the internships. It's all there for you, and there's a job description and company description for each individual one as well. Alongside the internship, there is other components which we wanted to add value, and something that we're really excited about to be sort of offering again sort of in 2021. The first component that we've added to the internship program is our cultural mentor. So what you will find is that obviously there is a lack of travel with these remote programs, and one of the best things about sort of traveling overseas is getting to know locals, understanding local cuisine, culture, and experience it for yourself. We don't, you know, think that a remote program is a sort of substitute for that, but you will be able to sort of gain a good insight with our cultural mentor program. By what happens is we pair you with a student from the destination in which your host company is based. So if you're interested in China or studying Chinese language, for example, alongside your degree, we would pair you with a Chinese student who is then sort of your cultural mentor for the 8 or 12-week program. They will then sort of contact you, and you'll be in contact sort of weekly throughout the 8 weeks to sort of build up a cultural journal, and we would provide topics as well, a discussion for you to sort of gain a really good insight to sort of who they are, but also understanding their culture a little bit better as well, and sort of building a deeper understanding. So topics include things like food. It's always a really easy topic to sort of discuss. Family culture, hobbies, interests, things like that as well. And like I say, you just build up a sort of journal over the time of different aspects of sort of who they are, and sort of a little bit more details on the country. All of the mentors are all students sort of based in these different destinations around the world. So peer-to-peer learning, the idea is that hopefully you gain a lot, but they are also interested potentially in maybe coming to the UK for further study, and they're interested in you as an individual as well. So see it as a reciprocal sort of relationship, and hopefully sort of like a digital pen pal for 2021. Another component is live events. So what we'll be doing, and I know you've probably a bit of Zoom fatigue with doing all your studies online at the moment, but what we've done is created weekly live events where we cover a variety of different topics, webinars, workshop formats, some really cool fireside chats, but they're all based around improving employability and cultural understanding. So it could be, we've done workshops with LinkedIn to sort of talk about improving your profile and your presence online, but then there's lots of other cool ones that we've done on sector specific as well. So last week we did one on employability in the arts. I think next week it's sort of science-based events that we're looking to do. So we try and mix it up every week, and over the 8 or 12 weeks, however long your sort of internship lasts that you opt for, there will be a weekly event on a Thursday, typically around about 10 or 11 a.m. For you to log in. You can obviously ask questions directly to the speakers, and the speakers come from loads of different industries, either potentially host companies from ourselves, or we just source them because they're prominent sort of members of the sector as well. So yeah, live events typically every week, and hopefully give you a really good insight to a variety of different sectors. Another aspect that we're going to be including is your is skills courses. So alongside the internship and everything else that I've mentioned, Pagoda have sort of developed online skills courses across 4 different topics. So one is general employability, one is digital competency, the other is intercultural fluency, and the final one is workplace basics for graduates. They're about 8 to 10 hours each course. You do get a digital certificate for each one that you do complete. It's not something that you do need to complete, through the 8 weeks. You will have access to it after the program completes. But we just find that these are a nice way for the students to sort of top up their skills, pulling a lot of resources that we've sort of given and created over the years, a lot of scenario-based sort of questions and insights and things for you as well. But there's no like formal assessment. It's more a case of running through the content, and then towards the end there might be a task to create something or update CV in a certain format and things. So very, very flexible. You can log in at any time to our website for these. You can save your progress and come back to them at a later date as well. So some students like to complete them sort of through their program. Others like to do it at the end and things. We really don't mind, and we just see it as another added benefit for your time on sort of Pagoda World as well. That's the components alongside that. So just to summarize, we've got the cultural mentors, which will be assigned depending on where your host company is based, the weekly event, and the skills courses. The other big selling point of our program is the support from our team. So we have our team here in Manchester, who are a UK-based team, sort of supporting and guiding you through the application process, and getting you introduced to your host companies and finalising that for you, but also answering any questions you might have sort of before you start and giving you some tips and pointers. Throughout the process as well, we'll get you to check in on a weekly basis, just to summarize sort of how you're feeling about the opportunity and how it's going, maybe summarize the projects that you're working on, and then for us that's sort of the way in which we would address any concerns you might have, or sort of feed that back, any positivity that you're obviously summarizing as well to the university, to sort of summarize the types of projects that you're working on and things as well. But we're available anytime to book a one-on-one call, email, live chat, WhatsApp, sort of any communication tool that you're using. We've got set up, and we're sort of there to support you throughout the internship program as well. Cool. Some of you might think that an internship, a full-time or even a part-time internship, is not really going to be possible over the summer because you already have maybe work lined up, or you have another internship lined up, or you are able to go on holiday. I don't know. But for those who aren't, we have built a summer skills option as well, which is basically everything that I've just talked about, other than the internship itself. So if you did want to book onto the program, which is the summer skills, it is 4 weeks, and there is 3 options for that as well. So you can start on the first Monday in June, the first Monday in July, or the first Monday in August, and you'll be paired with a cultural mentor of your choice, so you can choose which destination. It doesn't need to obviously have any links to any internship, with that not being included. You'll have access to the skills courses, all of our resources, and sort of the wider sort of community through the Pagoda app as well. So all of our remote program is delivered through the Pagoda app, which is community-based. You'll be sort of within groups, and the platform where all of our participants are, whether they're from Cardiff or the many other institutions that we're working with on similar programs and things as well. So it's a great way for you to connect with other students. Our host companies are on there, our mentors are on there, and there's lots of sort of chatter all the time, sort of based around the different programs, and obviously anything else that's going on in the Pagoda world as well. So yeah, that's the sort of low commitment option, where a lot of it is essentially completing in your own time. And the only thing that's really sort of time dependent is that online event, which is, again, yeah, probably at 10 or 11 o'clock on a Thursday for you to join as well. Just a couple of things. We've surveyed our sort of participants, I think middle of last year, and you can see just in terms of our programs, Most of the time, the students are coming out of it and sort of seeing that they are improving their employability. All of our programs are based around sort of enhancing your sort of future prospects, and the feedback that we have generally is very, very high. In terms of the different opportunities we're offering, the different formats, and the support network that you are provided as part of that as well. So feel free to check the website out. I can give you those details shortly. So in terms of the application process, it is through the website. If you are looking to apply for an internship program, then you will need to submit a video interview where we give you some sample questions to sort of summarize why you think you're a good candidate for the opportunity. We will check the eligibility with the university, and then you can secure your place on the program. As I mentioned before, you can interview directly with the host company, so you can pick and choose which ones you apply for and hopefully secure that. Once you finalize your internship though, obviously we're here to finalize everything else in terms of getting you on the Pagoda app, getting everything set up for your internship, getting you paired with your cultural mentor, everything else as well. It's all sort of set in place, and there'll be one member of staff throughout the process from the Pagoda team who's sort of guiding you through all those different steps as well. So just to clarify, the program fees for both options are completely fully funded by Cardiff University. So they are limited in terms of the number of places. So I'd encourage you to sort of apply as soon as you can. And then the application deadline for both programs, both programs is the 3rd of May, 2021. Let me just do that. So that is the two links to apply. So it's Cardiff Remote or Cardiff Summer Skills. You can actually also just go to our website, click on students, funding, and then click Cardiff University, and then both the options will come up if you can't make a note of the URLs as well. Cool. That is basically everything. Yeah, great. So any questions?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ali. We've just had one question through so far, but yeah, anyone else, do feel free to type in the Q&A. But we've had one from an anonymous attendee who has asked if they would need to submit a CV with their application.
Yeah, good question. So for your internship program, yes, we would need a CV. Again, it's not really assessed on that in that point in terms of from our side of whether you're going to be accepted for the program. It's just something that we use later on for when we start approaching host companies for them to get a feel for you, because there will be that video interview that we ask you to submit, but that is for our purposes as well as the universities to assess whether or not you're suitable for the program and to receive the funding to take part as well. But that again is only for the internship program. For the summer skills program, there's no CV, there's no video interview. It's just a case of if you would like to take part, then you are welcome to do so if you are eligible.
Fab, thank you. Andrea has put one through as well. So how do we start the process? Do we email with a specific internship in mind? You have a range of internships on offer, do you, Ali?
Yeah, so you would need to secure your place on the program before we start with the interview process and selecting the internships and things like that. But you can, if you go to the website, let me bring up those again. Yeah, so if you go to the website, Cardiff Remote is the top one for the internship program. You can, even before you apply, go through the process with us and things like that. You can see all the internships there. So if obviously you see a lot that you think are suitable, then great, apply. And if you don't see any that you think sound interesting, then of course, no need to sort of complete the process. But to start the process, there is an application form at the end, at the bottom of that page, which is basically just your student data, like your personal data, sorry, and a bit about you in terms of what you're looking for with an internship and stuff. And then we will get back to you typically the next working day to summarize what we need from you, CV, video interview, and that sort of stuff, and obviously to introduce sort of the member of staff and who they are and who's going to be looking after your application throughout the process. Yeah.
So yeah, just to follow up, so say if the student had quite a specific sector in mind or type of internship and they couldn't see it or they couldn't find it on that website, they would be it'd be fine for them to just get in contact and ask if there was anything in that sector, for example.
Correct, yeah. So we've got a live chat function, there's
Okay.
email contact and things as well. So
Wow.
if you can't find one on the website, feel free just to give us a shout, and we might be able to direct you. You can filter by sector and things like that as well, or you can keyword search as well on the internship listing. So if you can't find it in the sector bit, keyword search and it'll bring up any in the job description and things as well. So hopefully you should be able to find the details, but if not, we're definitely there to help.
Great. We have another question here. So I'm a language student and interested in Mexico City as I do Spanish. I looked at the translation internship sector, but there aren't any available in Mexico City. The other internships in Mexico City are things like PR, human resources, marketing, etc. Marketing, I think. But I have no experience in these sectors. Does it apply, or do I need previous knowledge or experience for those sorts of
What a question. That's a really good question. Yeah. Absolutely no previously work experience needed or anything like that, certainly for the sectors that you've mentioned and what are available in Mexico. They're a little bit more picky when it comes to language capabilities for our Mexican opportunities in comparison to, say, our Vietnamese ones. But if you already got a ground knowledge of Spanish and you're interested in marketing, PR, that sort of stuff, absolutely no concerns with doing that. We've been doing this for a long time, and most of the time the British-based students don't have the best language capabilities other than the British English, of course. So I would say, if you've got Spanish language ability and you're interested in Mexico generally and the culture and things, and you are sort of open to different sectors, then I'm pretty confident we would have no problem in finalising something for you there.
Yeah, I would just like to say, so if you're a language student, and I presume you would also have a period abroad as a part of your degree, so it would just be worth noting you wouldn't be eligible to receive funding for both your year abroad and for a virtual opportunity. But get in touch with us if you have got questions on that. But yeah, generally speaking, you can't get funding twice. But yeah, just to say. Any other questions before we wrap it up? We'll wait a couple of minutes. I'm always really bad at sentences. But I think you've had a few good questions there. Trying to think if there are any that came up earlier. Are students able to apply directly to you guys if they weren't, for whatever reason, eligible for funding from us? Is there a pathway for that?
Not for our internship program. That is strictly for students who are eligible for funding. We do have a summer skills program that is self-funded because there's no sort of work involved and things, and that would be the £595. If they did want to book onto that program, they can do that at any time. There is like a separate page on the website and things for that, but again, we always try and source funding for all of our students and things first. So certainly apply through this to begin with in terms of the Cardiff unique pages, and then we'll make sure that obviously if you are not eligible, we can give you some further instructions in terms of what else is available.
Fab, thank you. So no more questions have come through. So we'll probably wrap it up. So as Ali said, so you've got those links there for further information and details about the application. You may well have seen as well on our intranet pages, we do have a designated page for Pagoda Projects opportunities. But they also signpost through to the websites. So if you do have any questions, obviously go through to those websites. As Ali said, they've got live chat or obviously email as well. And you're more than welcome to email Global Opportunities. It's just go@cardiff.ac.uk if you've got any questions about funding or eligibility, that sort of thing. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I'll stop the recording now.